something very, very dangerous.
Get these spidey sense, I was like, oh, something's off.
And I'm just like, man, I'm waiting to hear something,
Keep that crowd warmed up. Is Mr. Yahola Tiger.
What's going on, guys, and welcome to another edition of the Warcry Podcast. I am your host, Yahola Tiger. And I feel like I've been out of the podcast game for like 9 years because so much has been going on in my personal life. Y'all ever? Let me phrase this how I want to phrase it. Why do plumbers cost so dang much? That's my question. Like, I had somebody come out here and tell me that I have a leak from the meter to basically to the side of the house because we have some water pooling, more than some water. Absolutely disgusting. It's like, I'm already kind of weird about poop. So if y'all ever think that I had some type of poop thing going on, I don't. It just I don't know. Just the thought of it just makes me just like disgusted, I guess you could say. That's an easy word to say. And it just is so muddy. It's just bad. But dang, they said, yeah, it's gonna be 100 and something, light work. I'm just gonna walk the perimeter. Oh yeah, it's over here. 138, 135 bucks, whatever it was. It's nasty work, but hey, it's got to be done. But I appreciate that business. And if you guys have wondered, I feel like some of y'all, I've gotten a few messages, which I appreciate. It's very nice of you. I'll say that. It's like very kind that you would ask about me. But I'm off Facebook. The whole TikTok thing. I started looking up in some things. I get this weird thing where I start looking into things that I don't, that I want to know, that I'm curious about. And so Facebook, what they do is they monetize your posts, your pictures, everything, which obviously some of y'all gonna be like, obviously. Yes, obviously. And I'm not a Zuckerberg guy. I've never been. I've been off Instagram for almost a year. I mean, the algorithms suck. And we had that TikTok ban. That, I think, as a society and as a human race, I have never seen so many people, like, it's almost like a eulogy. It was like we was, like we had a real close relative, pass away peacefully into the night. And TikTok really did that to us. I had to play mine. I had to put my little post out, and it was sad. And then at like 9 or 8:30, whatever time it was, I went to hit that refresh button, trying to get that last bit of 2020, 2019, 2021 content that I missed because I didn't get on TikTok till like 2022. But I had to give me a little piece of that. I had to enjoy a memory that wasn't mine. And I hit that refresh button. And it was gone. It was gone. My wife had a visceral scream. It was almost quite embarrassing, I'm not gonna lie. And if you hear this, baby, I'm sorry, but I gotta tell off on you like that. For the first time in about 3 years, I decided to go outside after that and touch grass. I can't believe it. I didn't realize grass was itchy. It's just it's a sad state of affairs, I'll tell you what. But once I went outside and I touched a little bit of grass, walked around a little bit, didn't realize that fresh air smelled so good. Didn't realize that trees turn brown and then die in the wintertime. In the wintertime, it is a little cloudy outside. I didn't know that either. It's just it's crazy out here. And then one day, I think a couple of days later, some white particles came down. I think some people say it looks like snow, or it's called snow. I didn't know, but it's crazy what that band did to us. But it's crazy. It's just really crazy. I don't know how else to say it. And then, just like Jesus Christ, I'm sorry I had to do this to him, but just like Jesus, TikTok came back 3 days later. It was almost like a metaphor, some would say. And then all of a sudden, we get on. And I got beef with Canada and the UK. So if you're from Canada and you're in the UK, we was off that app. Us Americans were off that app for like 2 hours. No, not even 2 hours. I was going to say 2 days, but like 16 hours, 18 hours. And y'all said it was quiet on there. That's nasty work. We were outside touching grass for the first time in 3 years, realizing what life is without TikTok. And y'all on there posting some of the most garbage content I have ever seen. I saw somebody on there put a piece of bread in the toaster, but not even like an old school. It's like an 1800s toaster. What are y'all doing? There's electric over there. I know y'all got electric. There was an 18th century toaster that y'all got. I think we sent back over once we beat y'all in World War II. Dang. During the American Revolution. I think we sent that back with y'all. Y'all gonna have that trash piece of equipment back with y'all. We weren't even gone 18 hours. And y'all did us that crazy. Y'all was putting beans on toast with cheese? With the cheese? No. Y'all be ashamed of yourselves. And I didn't know, I'm not real well versed in British culture. In Canada, I'm not done with y'all. Just I got something for y'all. But y'all literally said it was quiet. And then y'all post the most garbage content of y'all getting in knife fights. Like, what is that? That's crazy work. That's crazy work. Now, Canada, during that TikTok ban, y'all thought y'all was something. Trump came into office. You know, y'all was getting our algos. Y'all was getting all our content and just recreating it. Trump comes back in, extends the date. So we're good. We're back. And Canada and obviously, if you guys know, obviously, if you haven't, tariffs are like the thing right now. Everybody likes to toss around a tariff. Oh, you get a tariff, and you get a tariff. Yo, you get a tariff. Some dude with no shirt on across the street, you get a tariff. I'm starting to tariff my own kids. So give me that. I make them a little bit of food. I get my 20%. That's called tax. So we doing a bar for bar tariff with Canada. And I keep seeing on TikTok, once we came back and the algos came back, which, by the way, I'm also tired of seeing, if you block Facebook and all Meta, your algo will go back to how it was. That's crazy. Anyways, we going through a tariff battle right now. We go, you go. It's like a little rap battle going on. Fast forward to literally 2 nights ago or last night. They're singing the national anthem in a hockey game. And hockey is supposed to be Canada's sport. Y'all supposed to be like the greatest of all time. Y'all are supposed to be like Soviet Union 1970s hockey. When America upset the Soviet Union that one year. I don't even know the year. they start singing that beautiful national anthem we have here in America, and y'all booed us out the building. I'm coming kind of spicy today. I got it all for all y'all. I'm a little. I saw that. I said, all right. I see how it is. Not even a half a second into the fight, one of our U.S. dudes said, "Let's go." Takes the gloves off and starts going to town on this dude. They start getting into a back and forth. And in hockey, correct me if I'm wrong. What? So y'all just fighting? Is that what's going on? Y'all just like, hey, you know what? Stop the game. It's like when two dudes in pickup are like crying over a foul. And he said, no, that's not a foul. That's a foul. Yes, it is. Is that how y'all do that? I'm going to have to start watching hockey more if this is what this goes down. Not even a second in, he said, throw the gloves off. Let's go. Let's get it. So I said, all right. They're going to do their little throw the puck down and the referee runs away. Next dude says, all right, bet. I got you. Takes the gloves off. They go at it again. 9 seconds into this fight, there's 3 fights. Or 9 seconds into this hockey game, there's 3 fights. I was seeing highlights of Americans checking the mess. Checking? Is that the right word if y'all know out there, hockey people? Canadian people that listen to the podcast? We was checking the mess out, y'all. I couldn't even believe it. Y'all gonna boo us out the building. We gonna fight with y'all 3 times in 9 seconds. And then we check y'all all game. Dice y'all up, slice and dice. Scary movie style. And beat y'all 3-1. Beat y'all 3-1. Let me go ahead and get a round of applause for that. That's what I'm talking about. 3-1. And this is what I got to do. This is a new sound effect. Nah, that's crazy. Anyways. But yeah, we got y'all 3-1. So, for all y'all talking mess when we was out, this is how petty Americans are. We will hold that grudge all the way to a hockey game. How dare you tariff us? How dare we tariff y'all? However it shakes out. But we got our lick back, so it's okay. But we're 2 months in. We're not even 2 months into this 2025 year. And a lot of people are upset. I see both sides of the coin when it comes to a lot of things going on right now. But one thing that is for sure, and one thing that is forever, is Democrats, y'all make me laugh. I get it. You guys don't want Elon Musk and all these different Doge and all these different departments, and it has caused a lot of chaos for federal workers and contractors. But y'all got to stop singing these songs.
Elon Musk. No Elon scam within our walls. We'll fight from dawn to dusk. Oh, which side are you on? 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 Trump's coming for our unions. He wants us all to fail. He wants us to bow to him, but we want him in jail. Oh, which side are you on? 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 They say in the capital city there are no neutrals found. You're either with the Union or a scabby Musk bloodhound? Oh, which side are you on? Which side are you on? Tell me. Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Don't take that government buyout. Don't listen to Trump's lies. Us workers haven't got a chance unless we organize. Oh, which side are you on? Which side are you on? Tell me. Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
I'm really curious. I wonder how long that took them to write that. They gave us 2 minutes of straight. 2 minutes of straight ass. What are they doing, man? Like, that's what they just don't make no sense to me. Like, we rather, like, for those of you guys out of the know, I am a registered Democrat. I've been a Democrat since I was able to vote, and that's my thing. But one thing that I get frustrated when I see things like this is that, as someone who is rather conservative-ish, in some aspects, I don't understand why. Let's get up on a stage, let's waste people's time, and let's sing this 2-minute piece of garbage. For what? Do the same thing MSNBC, CBS, NBC, CNN, News Nation, Midas Touch, the recount. I mean, it doesn't do anything. And I think it lacks why I feel the way I do about the party that I'm registered in. Is it doesn't, RFK Jr. said something that really kind of, how I say this, it resonated with me, is that I didn't, he said that he didn't leave the Democrat Party. They left him. And a few other people have said that. Like, they just left us behind us more conservative-ish. Like, I'm not really that conservative, but I'm pretty, I do value certain things more than I do other things. But that's got to stop, man. I think another thing, too, that I've, been kind of interested in, I think it's kind of wild of what's going on. The USAID thing is intriguing to me. We have Democrats running around trying to get into buildings, like, when they're really not in control, maybe. I'm not really quite sure on the logistics of that end, but it's definitely interesting. And one thing, too, that I'm going to say, Elon Musk scares me. As someone who, I follow him on Twitter or on X, and he says things that I'm like, okay, all right. He's a former Democrat and things like that, but he says things that just spook me. Example of that is when he talks about ancient Egypt. He has for years talked about ancient Egypt and the things that, come and go. And he mentioned something with Jordan Peterson, and I saw a clip floating around on X and on TikTok where he was talking about Memphis. And it was really creepy.
You said something that caught me right away when we were discussing various issues just before we started. You said you were up till 4 a.m.
Yeah, so, actually a little more like 5 a.m. But
okay.
We got the XAI data center or supercomputer center training from beginning installation to start of training in 19 days, which is the fastest that anyone has ever gotten a supercomputer to train.
And is that in that new building off the side?
That's in Memphis, actually.
It's in Memphis?
Yeah.
Oh, so that's where you were?
Yeah.
I see.
Memphis, the capital of ancient Egypt.
Right. Yeah, you're bringing what?
Perhaps that's where our new God will come from.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Yeah, I wish that was funny. Yeah, okay, so I want to talk to you about alignment.
I wish that was funny.
Yeah, right.
just a lot of things about that guy that just spooks me out. And so when I see him parading around with the president, it just makes me. It does make me a little cautious about what's going on. And then now the rumor as of today. This is what I'm recording this Tuesday night. That $8,000 checks are going to be passed around allegedly. And to me, there's something off about it. I don't know. I know I have a lot of people who voted for Trump, support Trump and all President Trump and all those things, but I like to stay objectively aware, I guess you could say, when it comes to him specifically. One thing that I do like that's been going around, and like I said, you can agree to disagree. That is fine. I'm not going to debate you on topics, or if I get something wrong, I get it wrong. Guess what? I go back to the drawing board and correct it later, whatever. But one thing that I do like that he has done is that two people that I've really, if you follow me on X, I'm very heavy and I'm very supportive of Tulsi Gabbard and RFK Jr. Now, there's going to be some people, how could you? How could you? But we have to look back to see who they were before now. And this is one thing, too, that I want everyone to just kind of think about for 1 second while you're listening to this podcast. Before 2016, if you look at that cabinet and look at all the people he's appointed, the people who, their track records, what were they? They were Democrats. And so Republicans are cheering these Democrats that are flipping to the red, to the Republican side. It just looks weird to me. It's like we're doing this flip. Trump, a lot of money to the Clintons, a lot of money to Obama. In 2012 when Obama made that joke about Trump, and if you guys haven't seen that video, go research it. You could tell Trump was like, "Oh no, you ain't gonna say nothing about me, big boy. I'm funding you." He had been a donor for a lot of these big time Democrats for a lot of years. Tulsi Gabbard was vice DNC chair. Robert F. Kennedy, obviously, that's a stronghold on the Democrat side, which is nasty work, by the way. His whole family's kind of turning on him. I just thought that was kind of weird too. But nonetheless, it's just something to look at. Staying objectively aware, I guess you could say. And I'm not here to cheer or root for anybody. I want things better for everyone. And I think a lot of times, we get into this war with each other when it comes to the blues and the reds. And as someone who's not like, I don't feel like I'm either blue or red. I'm kind of like a gray, I guess, but I guess that's independent color, whatever. But I see these people just going to battle. Like they wake up, just be on X or TikTok and be in them comments, just going to war with each other. And that's the funny thing about, if you look at how, what's going on. It isn't a battle. This has never been a battle between someone who makes $30,000 a year or someone who makes no money a year and surviving on Medicaid or food stamps or all the many programs that I guess you could say Planned Parenthood. That's one of them, a program out there, or that was out there. I don't know if it's still out there. I'm ignorant when it comes to some of those stuffs, but there's a lot of programs out there that a lot of people need. And you got to look at it from a point of reference of, it's not you and me. It should not be me versus you, or you versus that person, or blue versus red. A lot of the people that make a lot of money in this country are starting to shift, and things are going in a certain direction that, one, the USAID and where our tax money's going. I mean, Doge has done some pretty decent things I've seen and read. And I'm not getting my information from some random person on TikTok. You got to go and find and read the articles. And not be headline hunters, man. A lot of people read the headlines and say, I know exactly what's going on. But that's a lot of what happens is the salacious headline. And this person said that. It's never, sometimes not true. They say the headline and then in tiny words at the first paragraph. But also, he's in context, he said this. And so when they get fact checked, it's not wrong. They don't have to go back to the editor and say, oh, well, I made a mess up. But it's not, it's a class war I think we're going through right now. It's the haves versus the have-nots. And, I feel for the people who have had their homes destroyed by the hurricane out in North Carolina and then the wildfires out in California. And one thing, too, that just drives me crazy about Hollywood and rich people, celebrities, they had the audacity during, I think it was the Grammys, or was it the Golden Globes, or whatever they had. It was Oscars. They were all in that. I feel like they're all like within the same time. Award season. Call the number and make a donation. Everyday working people making donations when there was about $1 trillion in the room. That doesn't make any sense to me. As someone who, I enjoy pop culture. I enjoy, the comings and goings. I've been tracking not tracking, God, make me seem like I'm out here like, really, really diving into the details here. Sometimes, but not all the time. But like the Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds thing, it's nasty work. Go check it out. We have these culture war things, these haves and versus the have-nots, and we pick our favorite fighter. And for some people it's Drake, some people it's Kendrick. For some people it's the Democrat Party or whoever they got running, Harris or Trump. So just something to think about. Not trying to hit y'all with like some crazy, he's saying something so crazy. No, just have observational awareness because things are never as they seem. That is kind of the thing that goes throughout my entire podcast. Sometimes things are not as they seem.
I want to perform their favorite song, but they love to sue. What song? Yeah, that song. Maybe I think about it. Oh, no. Know what? I slow it down.
2 minutes later.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what America wants. Nice and calm. You almost there. Don't mess this.
Oh, no. It's a cultural divide. I'm going to get it on the floor.
You really about to do it?
40 acres in the mule. This is bigger than the music.
You really about to do it?
Yeah, they tried to rig the game, but you can't fake influence.
They get on it like that.
Hey, I'm tripping, I'm sliding, I'm riding through the back like fuck. Mustard on a beat, bro, deep bird, any rap, he a freak though. Man down, call like Ember Lambs, tell him breathe. That truck tore me in.
They not like us. They not like. Okay, that song hit. But speaking of, the Drake and Kendrick beef came to, I think, our final chapter. I think it's over finally. Well, then maybe not. The Super Bowl, the lead up, we had the Philadelphia Eagles, and then we had the Kansas City Chiefs. And I am not by any means a Swiftie. And one of these days I'm going to find the courage in my heart to talk about Taylor Swift in detail because there's a lot of weird things. One of them being that she's a nepo baby All right, Swifties, stay over there. But anyways, there was a lot of storylines leading up. We had Saquon Barkley, running back for the Eagles. Basically, he was traded away from the Giants, an NFC rival, to the Eagles. Is he going to get a Super Bowl? Is he going to show them? We got Jalen Hurts, former Oklahoma Sooner quarterback. No Roll Tide in this household. He came through Norman for one season, made a great impact. Went on. Lincoln Riley did help him. Went on, and now he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen the game. And then we have on the other side, we have Patty Mahomes, who to this day I still cannot stand because he went to Texas Tech, and that he almost ruined the Sooner season that year that they got beat by Georgia in the Rose Bowl in the playoffs. And then we got Travis Kelce, or Travis Swift, as we might say, or Taylor Kelce, however you want to say it, whatever side you're on. There were a lot of storylines on their side. Is Patrick Mahomes the GOAT? Is Travis going to win a three-peat? And then is Taylor going to write a song with him proposing at midfield? We had it ready. We wanted one of those moments. I personally, for my wife, I was like, you know what? I was over under if the Chiefs win. What's going to happen? Do you think she's going to propose or he's going to propose? And it didn't happen. The Eagles won. They beat the mess out the Chiefs. But you know why they won? They won because of this one reason.
Let me hear you all say, E-L-E-L-E-S, Eagles! We don't promise perfection. I'm so happy that I never have, especially after I couldn't spell Eagles right.
Do we really need to get rid of the Department of Education? Nah, I'm just kidding. Anyways. But that's why they won. Sometimes you fail on your way to success. And I'm glad that she realized she misspelled Eagles. Because later on, they didn't burn the city down like I thought they were going to. That's the only reason why I watch the Super Bowl when Philadelphia's in the Super Bowl. Or in the world, any type of sports. They burned that city down to the ground, but thankfully, the mayor, that was the mayor who you guys just heard. She greased the poles down. She made sure that nobody was able to climb the street lights, the intersection lights. So they greased them down. So everything was good. No one got killed up to my knowledge as of right now. But the Eagles won. But I also watched for that Super Bowl halftime performance. If you haven't heard, Kendrick put on a banger. Or did he? Because I'm going to be honest with y'all. I go back to the Taylor Swift comment that I just made earlier. One thing that drives me absolutely insane is when people don't realize when something is artificial right in front of their face. And what's even crazier about Kendrick is they would say, oh, he's been on a run. Everybody's listening to his song. And during his Grammy, when he won his Grammys, like I guess the week before the Super Bowl, Lucian Grange and Dr. Dre and all them big wigs up at all those big music companies, those record labels. Oh, Kendrick, yeah, dapping him up, hugging him. And it's not really me trying to shoot bail for Drake, but it's like when people don't realize that there's got to be some type of artificial push. Because that Super Bowl performance was a 2-pack of ass. The shit stunk, man. It was terrible. And there's going to be people saying, whoa, you missed the message. If I have to decipher a Super Bowl halftime performance, that ain't for me. I'm watching the wrong sport. And, shout out to the NFL for apologizing. I said that out and people were like, oh, no, they didn't apologize. They sent out a letter to Lil Wayne, and said, hey, we apologize, because Lil Wayne would have brought out everyone. Birdman, the Hot Boys. You know, you never knew what he would have done. Nicki might have been on that. Drake may have showed up. And then, but they picked Kendrick Lamar because he was on this quote unquote run, winning all these Grammys. Oh, he's the most streamed guy. You know, and it's just, a lot of it just stinks. It just stinks of just fabrication. Now, granted, that song is fire. Not Like Us is fire. Luther, fire. What else? He didn't even do swimming pools. If you are from the age, if you're in, okay, let's play this game here. From 35 years old to about 27, you were out in the middle of a field. If you're in a rural area, you were out in the middle of a field at a bonfire, and you listened to Swimming Pools by Kendrick Lamar over and over, and you said, pull up, drink, sit down, drink. Oh yeah, no, he didn't even play that. Oh, and if you're also kind of greasy, like, you know, I ain't saying I'm greasy now, but I got a touch of slime on me. I ain't gonna lie. But he's in the you be in some random person's trailer house, and you know, you just, you know, swimming pools, I guess. but like, he didn't even do that one. There were so many songs, Money Trees. There's all these songs I can't think off the top of my head, but like, he could have done. And he did a lot of his latest album, GNX, which just came out, you know, a couple months ago. Which, granted, but a Super Bowl halftime performance, we want to hear the hits. We want to make the club go crazy. I mean, we're not even a club, we're at a halftime performance on the field, but y'all get what I'm saying. We want to go crazy. We want to be like, oh yeah. And he teased Not Like Us the entire thing you guys have heard, as you guys heard earlier and watched. But that's one thing about this whole Drake and Kendrick thing, is that let's keep it 1,000%. He's there because of Drake. I'm not a Drake defender. I'm not shooting him $1 million worth of bail. I'm just saying. And another nasty thing, he had Serena Williams out there crip walking, and Serena Williams' sister was killed by Crips. That's crazy. And another thing too is that's Drake's former love interest. That's even more crazier. You had SZA out there, a former Drake love interest. And what's even crazier about Serena Williams, greatest tennis player of all time, don't get me wrong, women's tennis player, the GOAT, undefeated. But one thing that's crazy to me, so you got a husband and kids. You went up to him and said, hey, I got this big thing coming up. And it's a Super Bowl. And he's like, oh my God, for real? Super Bowl? Like, what's going on? Are you like a dancer? Like, what, what's going on? She's like, yeah, I'm dancing in it, but like, I'm dancing to Not Like Us. And her husband goes, yeah, that's fine. Ain't no way. You're dancing on the grave of your ex-lover? No. Sorry. We gonna have beef. Because ain't no way that I'm gonna allow you to go up there and crip walk on your sister and Drake's grave. That's crazy. That's insane to me. But I missed the messages. I get it. 40 acres and a mule. You guys heard that. You know, that's been a thing for a long time. Spike Lee just the other night had it on, but dude's a millionaire and doesn't make no sense. But hey, what it is. I ain't gonna say nothing else. But it just goes back to that thing where I mentioned at the Grammys and the Oscars and whatever awards, rich people award show, is that these people are saying these messages, but they're capitalizing on those messages. I don't know, just weird to me. Just hits me off. Just strikes me a bit weird. But overall, that was a terrible halftime performance. You know, the all-time greats, MJ, Prince, Beyonce, The Weeknd, Usher. You know, Usher had them all. He had the whole Ludacris and Lil Jon. We just missed out on Wayne, man. Because then just a couple days ago, this past Saturday, I believe it was the 15th. On Saturday, Lil Wayne performed at SNL 50. You know, he did his thing, man. He had the whole melody. You know, he carried. He had some charisma. He had some energy. And they were saying, "Oh, we saw Lil Wayne perform a year ago, and he was looking terrible." But nah, dude looked good. He sounded good. He rapped the entire thing, breath control. But yeah, they did Lil Wayne crazy, man. They did him crazy. But speaking of SNL 50, if you guys hadn't caught that was this past weekend, obviously. But there just comes a point in time. I'm not gonna try to bring race into this, but I'm gonna bring race into this. SNL has become like this white suburban millennial humor, and like it just drives me nuts because it's stuff that's not funny. It's just not funny. There was a sketch with Kim Kardashian, Scarlett Johansson, and one of the chicks from the previous cast. Can't remember her name off the top of my head, but it just was bad. It was just not funny. And they did the Susie Little Hands with Will Ferrell, and I'm just like, this may have been funny, but this is a little, it's about 20 years out of date here. We need another joke. And there's people, the fans of SNL, who watch it religiously every week. It's just like, I don't know how y'all do it, man. I just don't know. It's like brain rot, but it's like the internet, but they're acting the internet out, and it's sometimes funny. Maybe I think Michael Shea's funny. Colin Jost, he needs to go. You had Bill Murray up there doing the news report that they do every week, and he was funnier. That's the funniest that segment's been in a long time. I hung around long enough to watch the Adam Sandler tribute song because I love when Adam Sandler sings his goofy songs. It was pretty funny. But I ain't gonna lie, I got a little something in me. A little tear came to my eye when I started when he was they showed Chris Farley and they showed Norm Macdonald. Because those two dudes are like my childhood growing up. They've been in so many movies. Black Sheep was my favorite Chris Farley movie. Just the best, man. I hate that he's gone. But I stayed around long enough. They had commercials with what was it, Andy Samberg. He's kind of fall off. It's like when people get money, they just like, hey, we ain't gonna really write that much. I saw the redheaded Scared Straight segment with Eddie Murphy, Tracy Morgan. That was funny, with those three. But we got to get Kenan Thompson out of here, y'all. I'm just so tired of him being in stuff it's just not funny. It's just not, like, he hasn't been funny since like 93 and all that. And I'm flaming him for that, but like, he has not been funny. Like, he did something with Kevin Hart for the New Year, and that was a 2-pack of ass. Kevin Hart, get him out of here too. He stopped being funny like 2012. I think his last funny movie was Get Hard with Will Ferrell. Like, man, it's just bad. It's just like, it's like they get, like, people get money and they just like, yeah, I'm just gonna go up here and just riff. It's just like, nah, man. And I'm hating on SNL. That's terrible. And this is a question I want y'all to leave down in the comments. If you are not into SNL, were you a fan of Key and Peele? Were you a fan of the Chappelle Show? Like, what was, like, or the Mind of Mencia, if y'all remember that? Rest in peace, Carlos Mencia. He's now his name is Ned, which is kind of wild, but still. But yeah, well, let me know what y'all think about that. The SNL 50, if you watched it, or if you never watched SNL, because I just, I see that the Sabrina Carpenter one was like in Pedro Pascal. It's like he didn't even get his words right. He forgot the words. It was just bad, man. It's just like, oh, another thing too. Speaking of the earlier, I was speaking about the Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds case or whatever. I briefly mentioned it, but Ryan Reynolds showed up, and literally you saw Kevin Costner and Anya Taylor-Joy be like, ugh, why is this guy here? Why is he on TV? And basically they were like, oh, hey Ryan, how are you? And he was, oh, what did you hear? And the look on Blake Lively's face was like the look of someone had utter fear in their eyes. Like they were so shook that they were not ready. Because if you guys haven't heard, they're kind of down bad right now. There's some receipts that came out. Shout out to my Game of Thrones fans. Apparently Blake Lively has. So when Khaleesi died, there was another Khaleesi after that, and her name was Blake. And her two dragons are Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift, which is kind of weird. And then she said something about doing something with no teeth. I don't know. Y'all read it. It's kind of wild, but just a whole mess, man. Just a whole mess. You know, I don't know if y'all have seen It Ends With Us. My wife and I were thinking about watching it. We kind of was like, we don't know. I really don't want to see Blake Lively in another movie. I think the best she's ever been was in Age of Adeline. And that was okay. Her accent in The Town was horrific. So I'm over them. Ryan Reynolds. And I want to know how many times, I guess I can look this up, but how many times has Ryan Reynolds been in a movie where he had a monologue at the very beginning? Yeah, my name is John, and this is me. Man, I really shouldn't have done this. And it's like cut to some action scene where he's like falling or something. I'm just tired. I'm over Hollywood. I'm over them, but they just cannot go away. But that was kind of like, you know, everything with pop culture that I've seen. I'm really right now into a lot of these reality shows. If you guys have not seen Traitors on Peacock and NBC, you gotta watch it. My guy Boston Rob is on it. I'm a huge Boston Rob. Now, I'm not gonna wear a Boston Rob t-shirt, but I'm a big Boston Rob fan. He's in that season also with a bunch of Big Brother in the Challenge. Wes from the Challenge. That guy's a straight a-hole. But Traitors. Another one is Extract, which is on Fox. Let's see. There's a few other ones, but we watched the Bear Grylls Challenge. Okay, the Bear Grylls Bear Hunt Challenge. I ain't gonna front to y'all. I didn't realize that like people in the UK had their own celebrities like that are actually kind of big. I'm I'm aloof to them. Like I don't even know what's going on over there. But like Bear Grylls had a bunch of like European celebrities, and then basically the object of the game is to basically survive challenges and not get hunted by Bear Grylls. It is a pretty interesting show. If you haven't checked it out, it's on Netflix. Just dropped. Just finished Falling Skies on Max. I didn't realize how good an actor Noah Weil is. He's also in The Pit on Max. If you haven't seen The Pit, it's a kind of an ER type show. Really, really, really good. But Falling Skies is about an alien invasion. Noah Wiles and his family. Tom Mason, they try to survive and all this stuff. It also has Will Patton in it too. He's excellent. I always love Will Patton. He was in Yellowstone. There's a lot of stuff going on with TVs and movies. TVs. Dang, multiple TVs, multiple movies. Anyways. But there's just a lot of things coming down the pipeline. I cannot wait. Nosferatu, February 21st. Cannot wait. Willem Dafoe, Bill Skarsgård, Lily Rose Depp. That's on my must-watch list. I'm in the middle of Night Agent right now on Netflix. My wife and I finished Day of the Jackal. And I'm going to say something about Day of the Jackal. One thing that's absolutely insane to me about that show is dude just kills people. Like he just like, oh, you found out. You may have an inkling of who I am. Dead. Like there's some kills in there where you're like, man, he ain't got to do that guy like that. But it's also the plot really drives, and it's like really fast paced, and you actually get to see some like technical stuff, which is kind of cool with guns, which I'm not really a gun guy, but it's kind of interesting. But Day of the Jackal's on Peacock. Really good show. Squid Games came out late 2024. I mentioned that on the best of. I thought that was pretty good, coming out soon. The show that I cannot wait to watch, and I've been waiting now, is the final season of You. Now, Joe Goldberg, my guy, I think it's time for you to die. Because you need to die. Because this is 5 seasons too long. But I'm glad it's ending. I'm glad that I've been waiting for that season, final season of that. And we got Squid Game's final season coming in June. There's a lot of stuff. There's a few movies that I'm waiting to watch. There's Heretic. Let me know if you've seen that movie, if it's any good. Hugh Grant. Let's see here. Elevation with Anthony Mackie. Let me know if that's any good. So kind of a sci-fi creature movie. Werewolves with Frank Grillo. It's like The Purge, but with werewolves, is on my must-watch. And Wolfman, which has the girl from Ozarks, the little blonde-headed girl from Ozarks, the daughter. I can't think of her name, but that's coming out where her husband gets attacked and he starts turning. And so that's coming out soon. So there's a few things that I'm looking forward to watching. But let me know what you guys think about movies that I mentioned, or movies coming up, or shows that are coming up on your guys' to watch list. And so the NBA All-Star Game was this past weekend as well. I'm a very big Lakers fan. Been a Lakers fan since I was a little guy, late 90s. Like Kobe, Shaq. That was my introduction. End of Michael's career, MJ. And I'm so tired of LeBron James. I am absolutely so tired of LeBron James. Like, I cannot say that enough. He's on the Lakers. When he went there, I renounced my fandom that day. So the All-Star Game is here, the day of. And he decides to go, yeah, guys, I ain't playing. For someone who has never made an All-Star appearance, Norman Powell would have been able to have his first All-Star appearance, which would make him an All-Star, which would boost his career in the long run. When he gets outside of basketball. And LeBron was like, nah, I'm just not gonna play. Not enough time to get the logistics going, and kept that man from being able to get an All-Star appearance. That's one thing about the NBA that we need to get LeBron out of here. Like, he has to go. I am a LeBron hater for life. There's nothing that you can convince me. He could go and stop world hunger, and I'd still have a little hate in my heart for that guy. Now, the Lakers are a two-pack of ass now with Luka and LeBron. AD was terrible, but I'm glad he's gone. But we bring in Luka, who has allegedly a eating problem and a drinking problem, on the low, whatever. But I'm just over. I'm over NBA basketball. Kobe said something. Kobe Bryant, the legend. Rest in peace. But he said something that I'll never forget, and this is when I was coaching and player developing. That he basically was like, the European kids understand the assignment. They understand the game of basketball. They don't play on accident. And that's a lot of the stuff that's being taught now, especially at the AAU level and high school level. It's a lot of drive and then read. So it's like, all right, drive left. I got someone in the corner. I got someone across the way, and I got two people on the baselines for the corner three, and then I could either pick and pop, pick and roll, whatever I need to do, or I can, or the guy on the wing, that fifth player on the wing, can cut and hit it like a easy layup. It's a lot of read and react basketball. A lot of it doesn't require a lot of basketball IQ. You just drive and kick until a shot's open. But as you guys can tell with this kind of basketball style, when you get into the playoffs, you get teams who can switch. They can guard all 5 positions. So when you try to do the pick and roll, or you try to, kick and drive, there's people there to close out. And that style of basketball isn't just it's not a playoff style basketball. It's like college football when you got the hurry up, the no huddle, but it's all air raid. It's all throwing the ball around. You don't see Georgia and Alabama and all these teams, Clemson, throw the ball around like that. The only team that you've seen do that was LSU in 2019, I believe. And I'm going to say LeBron might have ruined it, low key. I think Steph Curry had a huge hand in it. Steph Curry made everybody think that they could shoot threes. And I ain't gonna lie, some of y'all be shooting way too many threes out at pickup games. Y'all say, "Oh, Steph," and then shoot it real quick, and then turn around and just be straight ass, man, be air. It's just the worst shot I ever seen. But it's taught these young kids who like grew up with Steph. Oh, that's my Kobe Bryant. Steph is a great player, but no one is Steph Curry. No one is Klay Thompson. Those are two of the top 5 best shooters ever. And it's just ruined the game of basketball. Everything is either a layup or a three. And that's one thing that I think that kind of LeBron's game leads into that because there's no big men. LeBron had a lot of trouble with the Mavericks when he was with the Heat because they had Tyson Chandler. They had Dirk Nowitzki. They had 7-footers back there. They may not block the shot, but they will contest it. And that was one thing, too, that I think the style of NBA now is just, it's too fast-paced. There's not enough, there's great coaches. Don't get me wrong. There's people that know more basketball than me. I'm not saying I'm the end-all, be-all, but there's too many threes, and there's not enough post-up, and there's not enough mid-range. Because the most trouble I've ever had guarding someone is someone who could do all 3 phases. Because you don't know what they're going to do. You got the post-up. They may hit you with a little shimmy, fade to the corner. They may hit you with a 3-step pull-up. They may hit you with a 1-step pull-up, and you're gone because you're thinking they're driving. And so the game has just evolved into this 3-and-D type ball game, and I see it down at the younger leagues. There was a time when I was player developing when I was working at a nonprofit in Bigsby, and then I'm training my kids. And I'm kind of watching. We get done, and I'm watching this guy who quote unquote has trained D1 athletes, teaching this kid basically how, like, not changing his shot per se, but teaching him how he can get a shot off with the shot that he has. And he shot from his stomach. So it was kind of a weird release. Like, you're not shooting, you're shooting from below and not really with a 90-degree angle. Like you're squaring up. It's just a weird looking shot. And I asked the kid, I said, "How much you paying him?" He's like, "Oh, I'm paying him like $200 a month." And then any extra, it's like a certain amount of, and it just doesn't make any sense why we're not teaching the fundamentals. This kid couldn't even go left, but he was like all right-handed. So I get it, you're trying to work on their strengths, but like we got to become a full person, or a full basketball player. But that's just the game that I'm seeing. It's just hard to watch. The NBA ratings are at an all-time low right now. The All-Star game was awful, and it's just I just wish basketball. I've lost my love for basketball. I had a buddy of mine reach out and was like, "Yeah, man, come get in shape. Come get in shape and come play in this tournament." And a couple of these tournaments, I'm just like, I told him flat out, I just don't have it in me. I don't love it. I just the way the younger kids are coming up playing pickup. It's just I miss those days when we had old heads who they were very annoying, but they held it down. They were in their maybe early 40s, and it's just pickup culture in basketball. It's just not. It's not the same. It's like everybody in my age was like, "Well, we're gonna get a job. I ain't got time. Got kids." We just kind of gave up on pickup, and now it's like these high school kids are running, and it's just bad. But no offense if that's you. It is what it is. You don't know no better, but it's a sad state of affairs for the game of basketball nowadays. Man, well, I appreciate you guys that have continued to support the podcast in the many different ways. The Patreon, basically just really supporting the podcast really anywhere, YouTube, liking, commenting, doing your thing. I mentioned on a previous episode of the podcast, I'm not really going to be promoting very much. I just want to, if you listen to the podcast, you listen to the podcast. The Patreon's there. I'm going to be adding the Martin Luther King files, and I'll be basically talking about that. on Patreon. I guess it'll drop any time, but it's just basically I'm on TikTok and X at WarCryPod, Gmail, realwarcrypod@gmail.com. Send me your stories. I'm working on it. This is creepy. I kind of want to wait. I feel like I kind of want to build up a bunch of stories and then do it, but also have been kicking around inviting someone on to tell stories with me, maybe a few people, and then do This Is Creepy, and maybe just have some stories lined up so we all have some stuff and we're not kind of just thinking about it. But like I said, I'm thinking about some things. Podcast episodes are going to be more, I would say probably more, maybe not every week, but every 2 weeks. Just life. I'm getting busy again, and once the holidays are over, things start kicking up, and my birthday's coming soon. When you hit 30, man, you start looking at things a little different, and I felt on previous episodes feeling a little beggy for you guys to listen to the podcast, and 2025, I'm out of my enemy year. My enemy year was 2024, so my 2023 and 2024 were kind of really slow going, and 2025 has felt really like I felt better. I feel like a weight. I don't really believe in numerology, but I don't know. There might be something to that. But I feel a little bit better. I'm trying to figure out kind of the house situation, because I go back to, I said, plumbers, man. They be on one sometimes, but they be good. But sometimes they, just you don't want to pay the extra, I guess. Or not the extra, but just expensive to own a home and all that stuff. But it's just, I just felt really beggy. Felt like you guys, I was like begging you guys to join the Patreon. So if you join the Patreon, you're gonna get a bunch of stuff. You'll get some interviews. Weird Maine Paranormal's up there now, with Ryan Knights. Also, every episode of the podcast is now on Patreon. So if you just want to go through and listen to it consecutively over and over and over, it's all free except for the Patreon exclusives. But go through and listen to all of them. And let me know what you guys think in the comments of basically any YouTube, Patreon, or Spotify, wherever you listen to, Apple. This show is going to keep going. I got a few ideas of what things I want to do. As you guys can tell, I've changed some things. I'm adding audio from different places. Also added the round of applause and the laughs. Let me get you one time for the War Cry podcast. And hopefully I had y'all like this on this episode. Anyways, but those sound effects were kind of funny because they sounds like the laugh sounds so hysterically maniacal. But I appreciate the continued support. I appreciate everyone reaching out. No Facebook, no Instagram, no Snapchat, nothing. The Meta platforms, I just felt something in my gut. Me and my wife both are off Facebook and stuff, so we made that choice and deleted everything, and just I'm on X. I'm on X every day. I literally had a thread of tweets just bombing on SNL 50. I'm going to put up a wrestling review when it comes closer to WrestleMania. I'm going to do like a WrestleMania lead up episode. If you like it, you don't, if that's what you're into, wrestling, then, listen to it. But I'm going to be doing that soon. And then, like I said, Patreon, we're going to have the Martin Luther King files, the top secret FBI file that not a lot of people talk about. And it has a lot of interesting information about him. I didn't know a lot of the stuff. I didn't know his handlers. And it leads into a lot of stuff that it's kind of uncomfortable to talk about because those people will get after you. And I just, keep it to Patreon. But like I said, guys, X, TikTok, Warcry Pod, and then the email. And then if you want to message me on Patreon, I have a free group chat on Patreon. So just, get an account, become a free member, and then you can just, chat ask questions, whatever you want to do, on there, and then also on YouTube, War Cry Podcast. But I appreciate the continued support, and I'm going to catch you guys on the next one.